Welcome to Deep Doze. I'm so glad you're here to give yourself this moment of rest. Before we begin, find a comfortable position, settle into your blankets, and let the weight of the day start to melt away. Tonight, we are going on a gentle journey. You'll find yourself floating down a wide, calm river, a place where there are no destinations to reach and no expectations to meet. The water will do all the work for you, carrying you forward as your thoughts begin to soften and your breathing slows. There is nothing left for you to do now but listen, relax, and drift. Let's begin our journey downstream. You find yourself standing at the edge of a gentle river on a perfect summer afternoon. The sun hangs warm and golden in the sky, filtering through the canopy of willow trees that line the banks. Their long, graceful branches sweep down to kiss the water's surface, creating a natural curtain of green that sways in the softest breeze. At your feet rests a simple wooden boat. It's weathered and smooth, worn by time and water into something beautiful and trustworthy. The wood is warm beneath your fingers as you steady yourself and step in. The boat rocks gently, welcomingly, as you settle onto the sun-warmed seat. A few cushions provide perfect comfort, and you arrange yourself just so, finding that ideal position where your body can completely relax. You untie the simple rope that holds the boat to shore. It falls away easily, splashing quietly into the clear water. And just like that, you're moving. The current catches you gently, so gently you barely notice at first. The boat begins to drift, turning slowly, finding its own way. There's no need to steer, no need to paddle, no need to do anything at all. The river knows where it's going, and you're content to follow. The water beneath you is crystal clear. You can see smooth stones on the riverbed, rounded by centuries of flowing water. Small fish dart here and there, silver flashes in the dappled sunlight. Underwater plants sway in the gentle current, their movements hypnotic and slow. Everything moves at the pace of the river, which is to say, everything moves at the pace of peace itself. You trail your hand in the water. It's perfectly cool, not cold, just refreshing against your skin. Little ripples spread out from your fingers, catching the light, creating tiny rainbows that dance and disappear. The sensation is soothing, the temperature just right, the movement just gentle enough to lull you into a state of perfect calm. The banks on either side are lined with wildflowers. Purple loosestrife and yellow irises nod in the breeze. Tall grasses rustle softly, making a sound like whispered secrets. A butterfly, bright orange and black, floats past your boat, its path as meandering and purposeless as your own. It seems in no hurry either. Above you, the sky is a flawless blue, the kind of blue that only exists in moments of perfect peace. A few clouds drift across it, white and soft as cotton, moving slowly, changing shape as they go. You watch one that looks like a sailing ship, then like a dragon, then like nothing at all, just a beautiful shape against the endless blue. The sound of the river is like music. The gentle lap of water against the wooden hull of your boat creates a rhythm, steady and reliable. The gurgle and splash where the current moves around rocks adds melody. The rustle of leaves and grass provides harmony. Together, these sounds create a symphony of nature that fills your ears and quiets your mind. You notice how your shoulders have already begun to drop, how the tension you didn't even know you were carrying has started to melt away. Your breathing has synchronized with the movement of the boat, slow and deep and easy. There's nowhere you need to be, nothing you need to do, no destination you're trying to reach. You're simply here, now, drifting on this peaceful river. The sun warms your face, your arms, your legs. It's not too hot, just pleasant, like a gentle embrace. You can feel yourself beginning to drift, not just on the river, but into that peaceful space between waking and sleeping, where everything is soft and safe and calm. The river widens slightly as you continue your gentle drift, and the quality of light begins to shift around you. Though time seems to have no meaning here, the light takes on the quality of early morning, golden and new and full of promise. It slants across the water at the perfect angle, turning the surface into liquid amber. Each small ripple catches the light and throws it back, creating a constant, gentle sparkle that's mesmerizing to watch. Your eyes grow heavier as you follow these dancing points of light. Your boat continues its unhurried journey, moving so smoothly that you feel as if you're floating on air rather than water. The current is so gentle that the movement is barely perceptible. You feel it more than see it, the way the world slowly slides past on either side. Time stretches out, becomes elastic, becomes meaningless. There are only moments now, each one perfect and complete. A heron stands in the shallows near the bank, perfectly still, as if it's been carved from stone. Its reflection is mirror-perfect in the calm water, so clear that you can't quite tell where the real bird ends and the reflection begins. As you drift closer, it doesn't startle or fly away. It simply watches you with its ancient, knowing eyes, as if understanding that you mean no harm, that you're just another part of the river's peace. Its patience is infectious. You find yourself becoming even more still, more present, more deeply relaxed. The air here smells different, richer somehow. There's honeysuckle somewhere nearby, its sweet scent carried on the softest breeze. Mixed with it is the green smell of the river itself, fresh and clean and alive. You breathe deeply, filling your lungs with this perfect air, and as you exhale, you feel another layer of worry, of tension, of the outside world float away downstream, carried off by the current, never to return. The trees here are different now. White birches lean gracefully out over the water, their pale bark almost glowing in the golden light. Their leaves are small and delicate, trembling in the gentle breeze, creating a soft rustling sound like rain on a distant roof. Through their branches, you catch glimpses of the endless blue sky, but mostly you're in dappled shade now, the light and shadow playing across your face and hands in patterns that shift and dance. You notice small details you might have missed before. A dragonfly hovers near your boat, its wings moving so fast they're just a blur, creating a soft humming sound. When the light catches its wings just right, they create tiny rainbows. Its body is iridescent blue, almost metallic, and you marvel at how something so small can be so impossibly beautiful. It zips away suddenly, then returns, then zips away again, as if keeping you company for this part of your journey, a guardian of this peaceful moment. The riverbed here is different too. Sand has replaced the stones, fine golden sand that's been worn smooth by centuries of flowing water. You can see the patterns the current has made in it, ripples and waves frozen in sand, like the surface of a gentle sea preserved forever. Small schools of minnows move over it like clouds of silver smoke, hundreds of tiny fish all turning together as if they share one mind, one purpose. They're not afraid of your boat passing overhead. They simply adjust their course slightly and continue their own mysterious journey through the clear water. On the bank, a willow tree has fallen at some point in its long life, creating a natural bridge across part of the river. Its trunk is covered in soft moss, bright green and velvety looking, like nature's own cushion. But the tree isn't dead. Even lying down, it continues to live. Its branches still reach up toward the light, still grow leaves, still sway in the breeze. Life finds a way, the river seems to whisper, and there's something deeply comforting in that, something that speaks to the resilience of peace, of growth, of continuing forward no matter what. Your breathing has become even slower now, deeper, more relaxed than you can remember it being in a very long time. Each breath in brings peace, draws it down into your lungs, spreads it through your body. Each breath out releases anything you don't need, any worry, any tension, any thought that doesn't serve you. Your body feels heavier in the best possible way, settled completely into the boat, supported perfectly, safe and secure. The sound of the river has become part of you now. You don't just hear it anymore. You feel it in your bones, in your heartbeat, in the rhythm of your breath. It's not separate from you. You're not just on the river. You've become part of the river, flowing with it, moving with it, surrendering completely to its ancient wisdom about the art of simply moving forward without effort or struggle or resistance. A fish jumps somewhere ahead of you, breaking the surface with a soft splash that echoes across the water. Circular ripples spread out from where it disappeared back beneath the surface. You watch the ripples expand and intersect with other ripples, creating complex patterns that last only a moment before smoothing out again, the water returning to its mirror-calm surface. Everything is temporary, everything is fleeting, and somehow that makes it all the more beautiful, all the more precious. The boat rocks gently, so gently, as it moves through the water, back and forth, like a cradle, like a lullaby made motion. Your eyes are so heavy now, so peaceful. You let them close for a moment, just to rest them, and the world doesn't disappear. You can still feel the sun on your skin, still hear the water and the birds and the breeze. You're still here, still drifting, still perfectly safe. The landscape opens up now, gradually, gently, as if the world itself is taking a deep breath and expanding. The trees pull back from the riverbanks, and you find yourself floating through a wide meadow. On both sides, tall grass waves in the breeze, a sea of green and gold that stretches away to distant hills. The grass is dotted with wildflowers, every color you can imagine. Red poppies nod their heavy heads. Blue cornflowers stand tall and proud. White daisies catch the light. Yellow buttercups glow like tiny suns. They create a living tapestry that shifts and moves with each gust of wind, never the same twice, always beautiful. The sky seems bigger here, wider, more expansive. You can see so much more of it now that the trees have given way to open space. That same perfect blue stretches from horizon to horizon, unmarred by anything but those slowly drifting clouds. They move at the same pace as your boat, leisurely and without purpose. One cloud looks like a whale, swimming through the sky the way you're swimming through the river. You watch it slowly change shape, elongating, then dispersing into wisps, then reforming into something new. The impermanence is beautiful. The sun is warm on your face again now that you're out from under the trees. It's not hot, never uncomfortable, just a gentle warmth that seeps into your skin, into your muscles, releasing any last bits of tension you might have been holding. You adjust your position slightly in the boat, and it's as if the boat adjusts to you, the cushions somehow becoming even more comfortable, supporting you in exactly the right way. Your hand still trails in the water, and you notice how the temperature is absolutely perfect, neither warm nor cool, just neutral and soothing against your skin. Butterflies are everywhere here in the meadow. They float past on the breeze, dozens of them, their wings like stained glass in the sunlight. Orange monarchs, yellow swallowtails, white cabbage butterflies, and others you don't recognize, in colors you didn't know butterflies could be. They seem to dance rather than fly, spinning and dipping and rising on invisible currents of air. One lands on the edge of your boat, opening and closing its wings slowly, as if breathing. You watch it, mesmerized by the intricate patterns on its wings, each scale a tiny work of art. The sound of the meadow is different from the forest. Instead of the rustle of leaves, there's the whisper of grass, a softer sound, like silk sliding over silk. The wind moves through it in waves, and you can see the waves approaching from far away, the grass bending and swaying, getting closer and closer, then passing over and continuing on. It's hypnotic to watch, this visible wind, these patterns in the grass. Birds sing in the meadow too, but different birds than in the forest. Larks trill high above you, their song cascading down from the sky. Somewhere in the grass, a meadowlark calls, its song clear and pure. The notes seem to hang in the air, floating there like the butterflies, like your boat, like time itself. Everything floats here. Everything is suspended in this perfect moment. The river is wider here in the open meadow, and the current even gentler if that's possible. Your boat barely seems to move at all now. It's as if you've entered a place where time has stopped completely, where you could drift forever and never reach anywhere, and that would be perfectly fine. There's no urgency here, no need to arrive, no destination calling you forward. There's only this: the sun, the water, the grass, the sky, and you, floating peacefully through it all. You notice flowers growing right at the water's edge, their roots in the wet soil, their blooms reaching toward the light. Purple irises stand tall, their petals like velvet. Yellow flag irises glow golden. Water lilies float on the surface in the quieter spots near the bank, their white flowers perfect and pristine, their lily pads like stepping stones for the small frogs that sit on them, basking in the sun. A frog plops into the water as you drift past, the sound soft and musical. It swims alongside your boat for a moment, its movements graceful and easy, then dives down to the sandy bottom and disappears. You see it there for a moment, a small shadow on the sand, and then it's gone, leaving only a tiny cloud of silt that slowly settles. Your breathing has synchronized completely with the movement of the boat now, with the rhythm of the river, with the sway of the grass. In and out, slow and steady, like waves on a distant shore. Each breath takes you deeper into relaxation, deeper into peace, deeper into this perfect floating dream. Your body is so heavy now, so completely relaxed, that you feel as if you're melting into the boat, becoming part of it, part of the river, part of everything. The sun moves across the sky, though you don't really notice it moving. Time passes, though you don't really feel it passing. The meadow seems endless, stretching on, and that's perfectly fine. There's nowhere else you'd rather be. This is enough. This moment is enough. You are enough, just as you are, floating here in this peaceful place. A soft breeze picks up, just enough to create tiny ripples on the water's surface. They spread out in circles, intersecting, creating patterns of light and shadow. The breeze carries the scent of the meadow flowers, sweet and fresh and alive. It cools your sun-warmed skin just enough to be pleasant. Everything here is just right, perfectly balanced, as if the world has arranged itself specifically for your comfort. Far in the distance, you can see hills rising up, green and gentle, their slopes covered in more meadow, more flowers, more grass. They seem to go on forever, rolling away into a hazy distance where earth and sky blur together. You're heading in that general direction, though so slowly that you might never reach them, and that doesn't matter at all. The journey is everything. This moment is everything. Your eyes close again, and again it feels natural, right? Behind your closed eyelids, you can still see the golden glow of sunlight, can still feel the gentle rock of the boat, can still hear the whisper of grass and the song of birds. Sleep and waking have become the same thing here, blurred together like those distant hills, like the reflection of clouds in water. You're drifting through both at once, perfectly at peace. The afternoon deepens around you, settling into that perfect golden hour that seems to last forever here on the river. The light has become even softer, even more beautiful, filtering through an atmosphere that feels thick with peace, with contentment, with absolute stillness. Everything glows. The grass glows. The water glows. Even the air itself seems to glow with golden light. Your boat drifts on, so slowly now that you might be still, might be moving. It's impossible to tell and impossible to care. The distinction doesn't matter anymore. Movement and stillness have become the same thing. You're suspended in this moment like an insect in amber, perfectly preserved, perfectly peaceful, perfectly safe. The meadow continues on both sides, but it's changing subtly. The grass is taller here, reaching up past your boat, creating soft walls of green and gold that sway gently, enclosing you in a cocoon of natural beauty. You can see the seed heads at the top of each grass stalk, catching the light, glowing like tiny lanterns. Some of them release their seeds as you pass, the small fluffy pieces floating on the air like snow, like wishes, like dreams taking flight. A family of ducks glides past you, going the opposite direction. Mother duck leads, her brown feathers sleek and perfect, followed by 5 ducklings in a perfect line. They paddle steadily, their small feet working beneath the surface, though from above they look as if they're floating effortlessly, magically. The last duckling peeps softly, and the mother makes a low, comforting sound in response. They pass you without fear, without concern, accepting you as part of the river, part of their world. You watch them go, watch them gradually disappear around a gentle bend in the river behind you. Their wake spreads out in a V-shape, gentle ripples that rock your boat ever so slightly, like a good-night kiss, like a blessing. The rocking is so soothing, so perfectly timed with your breathing, that you sink even deeper into relaxation, even deeper into this floating dream. The river widens even more here, becoming almost lake-like in places. The current is so gentle that the surface is like glass, perfectly reflecting the sky above. You're floating between 2 skies now, one above and one below, and you're suspended between them, part of both, belonging to both. White clouds drift through the sky above and through the water below, identical mirror images, impossible to tell which is real and which is reflection. On the banks, the wildflowers have grown even more abundant. Whole patches of them stretch away into the meadow, creating fields of color. A patch of lavender sways gently, its purple blooms almost glowing in the golden light. The scent reaches you on the breeze, calming and sweet, like aromatherapy provided by nature itself. You breathe it in deeply, and it seems to go straight to your mind, straight to your muscles, releasing, relaxing, letting go. A willow tree appears on the right bank, its branches trailing in the water like long green hair. As your boat drifts past, some of the branches brush across the side, making the softest whispering sound. The touch is so gentle it's almost not there, like a ghost, like a memory, like a dream within a dream. You reach out and let your fingers trail through the hanging branches, feeling their leaves soft against your skin. The afternoon light catches in the willow leaves, turning them translucent, glowing green like stained glass in a cathedral. The tree seems ancient, wise, as if it's been standing here for hundreds of years, watching the river flow past, watching countless boats drift by, always patient, always peaceful, always here. There's something comforting in its permanence, in knowing it will still be here long after you've drifted past, still trailing its branches in the water, still glowing green in the afternoon light. You notice that your thoughts have become like the river itself, slow, gentle, meandering. They drift through your mind without urgency, without grabbing hold, without demanding attention. A thought appears, floats through, and disappears again, like clouds in the sky, like leaves on the water. You don't try to hold on to them. You don't try to push them away. You simply let them be, let them drift, let them go. The sound of the river has changed here in the wider, stiller section. Instead of the gurgle and splash of moving water, there's just the gentlest lapping against the boat, a quiet rhythm like a heartbeat, like breathing, like the fundamental pulse of life itself. It's so quiet you can hear other sounds now, the hum of insects in the meadow, the distant call of a dove, the whisper of wind through grass, the sound of your own breath, slow and deep and peaceful. A turtle sunbathes on a log near the bank, its shell dark and gleaming. It doesn't move as you drift past, doesn't even open its eyes. It's completely at peace, completely content to simply be here in the sun, on the log, by the river. There's a lesson in that, in the turtle's stillness, in its absolute lack of hurry. Nowhere to go, nothing to do, just being, just existing, just breathing and feeling the sun. The water here is so clear you can see all the way to the bottom, even though it's deeper now. You can see fish swimming lazily, can see underwater plants swaying in the barely their current, can see smooth stones scattered across the sandy bottom. The clarity is remarkable, as if the water isn't even there, as if you're looking through perfect glass, through nothing at all, straight down into another world. Your hand still trails in the water, and you notice how it's become part of the river now. The boundary between your skin and the water has blurred. You can't quite tell where you end and the river begins. Maybe there is no boundary. Maybe you've always been part of the river. Maybe the river has always been part of you. The thought is comforting, not strange, perfectly natural in this place outside of time. The golden light deepens, becomes richer, more amber. Everything is painted in shades of gold and green and blue. These are the only colors that exist here, the only colors that have ever existed. They're enough. They're more than enough. They're everything. Your body has become so relaxed now that you can barely feel it. You're aware of it, but distantly, as if your body is something happening far away, something not quite connected to you anymore. You're just consciousness, just awareness, just this peaceful presence floating on the river, in the river, with the river. It's the most natural feeling in the world. The river narrows slightly now, drawing you into a section where water lilies bloom in abundance. They float on the surface like stars on a green sky, their white and pink petals perfect and pristine. Each flower is a small miracle, each one slightly different, each one beautiful in its own way. Your boat drifts through them gently, carefully, as if the river itself knows to be respectful of such delicate beauty. The lily pads create islands of green on the water's surface. Some are small, no bigger than your hand. Others are large enough that you could imagine a fairy sitting on them, resting, watching the world go by. They overlap and touch, creating patterns, creating pathways through the water. Dragonflies land on them, rest their iridescent wings, then take off again, only to land on another pad a moment later. The water here is darker, stained slightly by the plants, taking on a deep emerald color that's rich and mysterious. You can still see down into it, can still see the stems of the lilies reaching down, down, down to the muddy bottom where they're rooted. Fish swim among the stems, darting in and out of the underwater forest, playing their endless games of hide and seek. A frog sits on a lily pad right next to your boat. It's bright green, almost luminescent, with golden eyes that watch you calmly. Its throat pulses gently with its breathing, in and out, a rhythm you find yourself matching with your own breath. The frog doesn't jump away. It simply sits, observing, being. You and the frog exist together in this moment, two beings sharing the river, sharing the afternoon, sharing this perfect peace. The air smells different here, greener somehow, with a hint of earth and growth and life. It's the smell of things growing, of nature thriving, of the ancient cycle of life continuing as it has for millions of years. You breathe it in, and it feels like breathing in time itself, breathing in history, breathing in the patient wisdom of the natural world. Overhead, the willows have returned, their branches creating a loose canopy above the lily pond. The light filters through in dappled patterns, creating spots of brightness and shadow that move slowly across the water as the branches sway. It's like being under a living ceiling, under a roof made of leaves and light and gentle movement. You feel protected here, enclosed, safe in this green world. A dragonfly hovers in front of your face for a moment, its wings blurred with speed, its body hanging motionless in the air as if by magic. You can see every detail, the segmented body, the enormous compound eyes, the delicate tracery of veins in its wings. It regards you for a long moment, this ancient creature whose ancestors flew when dinosaurs walked the earth, and then it zips away, moving so fast it's just a streak of blue light, there and gone in an instant. Your boat continues its slow drift through the lily pond. Sometimes the lily pads part easily, making way for you. Sometimes they brush against the sides of the boat with soft, wet sounds, leaving drops of water that gleam like diamonds in the golden light. Everything here is wet and alive and growing. Everything here is exactly as it should be. You notice a bird on the bank, a kingfisher, its blue-green plumage brilliant even in the shade. It sits perfectly still on a low branch that hangs out over the water, watching, waiting. As you drift past, it suddenly dives, so fast you almost miss it, plunging into the water with barely a splash. A moment later it emerges with a small fish in its beak, silver and flashing. It flies to another branch, shakes the water from its feathers in a small explosion of droplets that catch the light, and begins to eat. Life continues. The river provides. Everything is as it should be. The gentle rocking of the boat continues, that same hypnotic rhythm that's been lulling you deeper and deeper into relaxation. Rock and sway, like a cradle, like a hammock on a lazy summer day, like being held in gentle, loving arms. Your body has surrendered completely to this motion now. You trust it absolutely. You know you're safe. Your eyes are closed now, have been closed for a while, though you're not sure exactly when they closed. It doesn't matter. You can still sense everything around you, the lily pads brushing the boat, the dappled light on your face, the sound of water and birds and breeze. Closing your eyes hasn't shut out the world. It's just made the world softer, gentler, more dreamlike. The lily pond seems to go on forever, or maybe you're moving so slowly now that time is stretched out impossibly, each second becoming a minute, each minute becoming an hour. Or maybe time has stopped altogether, and you're suspended in this one perfect moment, this one perfect place, forever. That would be fine. That would be more than fine. A sweet scent reaches you, and you realize it's from the water lilies themselves. The flowers are fragrant, delicately perfumed, their scent mixing with the green smell of the pond and the honey smell of the willows. It's intoxicating in the gentlest way, not overwhelming, just present, just there, wrapping around you like an invisible blanket. You can hear frogs now, many of them, calling to each other in the reeds and among the lily pads. Their calls are low and rhythmic, musical in their own way. They create a chorus, a symphony of frog song that rises and falls, like waves, like breathing, like the heartbeat of the pond itself. Some calls are deep and resonant, others are higher, lighter. Together they create a sound that's ancient and timeless and deeply, deeply peaceful. The water moves beneath your boat in slow swirls and eddies, barely visible, barely there. You can see your reflection in the dark water between the lily pads, but it's dreamlike and wavering. Not quite you, not quite anyone, just a shape of light and shadow that ripples and reforms with every tiny movement of the water. You watch your reflection watching you, and the boundaries blur even more. Which is real? Which is the dream? Does it matter? Your breathing has become so slow, so deep, so peaceful. Each breath takes longer than the last. Each exhale releases more. There's nothing left to release soon. Just peace, just calm, just this floating, dreaming, perfect state of being. The boat drifts on through the lily pond, through the green light and the floating flowers and the frog song. Time doesn't pass here, or maybe all of time passes at once. Past and present and future exist together in this moment, all happening now, all perfect, all peaceful. You are the boat. You are the river. You are the lilies and the frogs and the dappled light. You are everything and nothing. You are here and everywhere. You are awake and asleep and something in between that has no name but feels like coming home. The lily pond gradually opens up, releases you gently into a new section of the river. Trees lean in close again on both sides, creating a tunnel of green, a cathedral of leaves and branches. The light changes, becomes filtered and soft, like light underwater, like light in a dream. Everything here is muted and peaceful, wrapped in gentle shadow and the whisper of leaves. These are old trees, ancient trees, oak and elm and ash, their trunks thick and gnarled, their bark deeply furrowed with age. They've stood here for hundreds of years, maybe longer, watching the river flow past, season after season, year after year, century after century. Their branches intertwine overhead, creating a living roof, and you drift beneath them feeling small and safe, like a child tucked into bed, like something precious being protected. The water here is cool and dark, reflecting the green canopy above. It moves slowly, lazily, in no hurry to get anywhere. Neither are you. The boat drifts at the same pace as the water, the same pace as time itself in this quiet grove. You can hear the river whispering against the banks, a soft, constant sound like breathing, like the earth itself breathing in and out, forever. Moss covers everything here. It grows on the tree trunks, thick and soft and impossibly green. It grows on fallen logs that lie half in the water, half out. It grows on rocks and roots and the damp earth of the bank. The moss creates a softness, a gentleness, muffling sound, muffling thought, muffling everything except the deep, abiding peace of this ancient place. A deer appears on the bank, stepping carefully through the dappled shadows. It's a doe, her coat russet brown, her eyes large and dark and gentle. She lowers her head to drink from the river, her reflection perfect in the still water near the bank. She drinks for a long moment, then raises her head and looks directly at you. There's no fear in her eyes, only curiosity, only acceptance. You're part of this place now, her gaze seems to say. You belong here. And then she turns and walks back into the forest, silent as a thought, graceful as water, and is gone. The sight of her fills you with something you can't quite name. Peace, yes, but something more. Belonging, rightness, a sense that you're exactly where you're supposed to be, doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing, which is nothing at all except being here, floating, breathing, existing in this perfect moment. The trees create patterns of light and shadow on the water, and your boat drifts through them. Light, shadow, light, shadow. The pattern is hypnotic, soothing, pulling you deeper into relaxation, deeper into this dreamlike state where everything is soft and safe and far away. The outside world is so distant now it might as well not exist. There's only this, the river, the trees, the filtered green light, and you. You can hear birds in the canopy above, though you can't see them. Their songs filter down through the leaves, muted and distant, like music from another room, like a lullaby being sung far away. The notes seem to hang in the air for a long time before fading, as if even sound moves more slowly here, reluctant to disturb the peace, reluctant to hurry. A small stream feeds into the river here, trickling down over rocks, adding its voice to the symphony of water sounds. It's a higher sound, lighter, dancing over the deeper murmur of the river. The two sounds weave together, creating something more beautiful than either could be alone. Harmony, balance, two things becoming one. Your boat turns slowly as it drifts, rotating gently in the current, showing you first one bank, then the other, then the way ahead, then the way behind. You see everything and nothing. It all blends together. The trees, the moss, the shadows, the light. You're not trying to remember any of it. You're not trying to hold onto this moment. You're just letting it happen, letting it flow through you like the river flows through the grove. The air is cooler here in the shade, but not cold, just perfectly comfortable, like being wrapped in the softest blanket, like being held at exactly the right temperature where your body doesn't have to work to be warm or cool, can just rest, just be. Your skin barely notices the air. You've become part of it, dissolved into it, one with it. Time has become meaningless here. You might have been drifting through this grove for minutes or hours or days. It's impossible to tell and impossible to care. Past and future have fallen away completely. There's only now, only this eternal present moment that stretches on and on without beginning or end. Your thoughts, those few that still arise, are like mist on the water. They appear, drift for a moment, and evaporate, gone before you can even quite grasp what they were. And that's perfect. You don't need thoughts here. You don't need anything here except this gentle drifting, this peaceful floating, this absolute surrender to the river's wisdom. The boat rocks gently, finding its rhythm with the water. You rock with it, your body so relaxed now that you move with the movement, flow with the flow, breathe with the breathing of the river. There's no separation anymore. You're not on the river. You're not in the river. You are the river, flowing through yourself, eternal and peaceful and right. A single leaf falls from somewhere high above, spinning slowly as it descends through the green light. It falls and falls, taking forever, and finally lands on the water beside your boat. It floats there for a moment, perfect and golden, and then the current catches it and carries it away, downstream, to wherever leaves go when they drift away. Everything drifts away eventually. Everything flows. Nothing stays, and nothing needs to stay. The sound of the river is like a voice now, wordless and ancient, speaking in a language older than words. It speaks of patience, of time, of the way water always finds its path, always moves forward, never struggling, never fighting, just flowing, always flowing, finding the way that's easiest, that's natural, that's right. The river teaches without teaching. It shows without showing. It simply is, and in being says everything. Your breathing is so slow now, so deep, so peaceful. Each breath takes a lifetime. Each exhale is a letting go of everything, everyone, everywhere. You're becoming lighter with each breath, less solid, more like air, more like water, more like light. Soon you'll be made of nothing but peace, nothing but this moment, nothing but the gentle rocking and the filtered light and the ancient trees standing silent witness to your perfect, peaceful surrender. The grove holds you like a mother holds a sleeping child, gently, lovingly, absolutely. You're safe here. You're home here. You can let go completely here. And so you do. You let go and drift and dream, and the river carries you on through the green shadows, through the peaceful silence, through this perfect, timeless place. The light is changing again, so gradually you barely notice at first. The green shadows of the grove are giving way to something softer, warmer, as if the world is preparing for evening. The light becomes golden amber, honey-colored, thick and sweet as it filters through the leaves. Everything glows from within now, as if the trees and water have absorbed the day's light and are releasing it slowly, gently, back into the world. Your boat emerges from the grove into a wider section of the river. The banks are lower here, sloping gently down to the water's edge. Wildflowers still bloom, but they're different now. Evening primrose beginning to open their pale yellow blooms, night-blooming jasmine preparing for dusk, their sweet scent already starting to perfume the air. The world is transitioning, moving from day toward night, and you're drifting along with it, suspended in the beautiful in-between time. The sky above has deepened to a richer blue, no longer the bright blue of afternoon, but something softer, gentler, touched with the faintest hint of violet at the edges. The clouds have taken on the colors of sunset, even though the sun hasn't set yet. Pink and gold and pale orange, like bruised peaches, like watercolor paint bleeding into water. They drift across the sky so slowly they might be standing still, might be painted there, might be dreams themselves. The river is wider here, and calmer than ever. The surface is like polished glass, like a mirror, like something precious and fragile. Your boat barely disturbs it as it drifts. The wake you leave behind is so small, so gentle, healing itself almost instantly, the water returning to its perfect stillness. You look back and can barely see where you've been. The river keeps no record of your passing. It simply accepts you, holds you, carries you, and lets you go. Birds are settling for the evening now. You hear their calls becoming softer, slower, as they find their roosting places in the trees and reeds. A heron stands in the shallows, perfectly still, silhouetted against the glowing water. It's like a statue, like a shadow, like something eternal. You drift past, and it doesn't move, doesn't acknowledge you, simply stands in its perfect stillness, being exactly what it is, doing exactly what it does, which is nothing at all. The temperature is changing too, the air cooling slightly as evening approaches. But it's not uncomfortable. It's perfect, like everything here is perfect. The cooler air on your sun-warmed skin feels wonderful, refreshing without being cold, gentle without being harsh. Your body doesn't have to adjust or react. It simply receives this gift of perfect temperature, perfect comfort, perfect ease. Fireflies are beginning to appear along the banks. Just a few at first, tentative, testing the gathering dusk. They blink on and off, tiny lights in the dimming air. Each flash is a small miracle, a little spark of living light, a message being sent in a language only fireflies understand. You watch them, mesmerized by their rhythm, their randomness, their beauty. They're like stars that have come down to earth, like pieces of the night sky floating through the reeds and grass. The water has taken on the colors of the sky now. Pink and gold and violet swirl on its surface, mixing with the deep blue-green of the river itself, creating colors that don't have names, shades that exist only here, only now, only in this perfect moment of transition. You're floating through a painting, through a dream, through something too beautiful to be real, and yet completely, perfectly real. Your boat drifts past a stand of reeds, tall and golden in the evening light. They rustle as you pass, making a sound like rain, like whispered prayers, like secrets being shared. Among them you glimpse a bird's nest, woven perfectly, cradling eggs or perhaps newly hatched chicks. Life continues its cycles. Night follows day. Birth follows birth. The river flows on, carrying it all, holding it all, witnessing it all with the same patient, eternal acceptance. The sound of the river has changed with the evening. It's quieter now, more hushed, as if the water itself is preparing for sleep. The gentle lap against your boat is softer, more musical, like a lullaby, like a mother singing her child to sleep. The rhythm is perfect, unchanging, eternal. You could listen to it forever and never tire of it. It's the sound of peace itself, the sound of safety, the sound of home. You notice how deeply relaxed you've become. Your body is so heavy now it feels as if it's made of water, of air, of light. You can barely feel it anymore. It's just there, somewhere, doing what bodies do, breathing, floating being, while you, the essential you, drift somewhere beyond it, somewhere deeper, somewhere peaceful and vast and infinite. The first star appears in the darkening sky, just one, bright and clear, hanging above the horizon like a diamond, like a promise, like hope. You watch it for a long moment, this first star of evening, and it watches you back, steady and eternal, a fixed point in a changing world. You could make a wish on it, but you don't need to. Everything you could wish for is already here, already now, already real. The evening chorus of frogs has begun, deeper and richer than the afternoon's song. Their calls resonate across the water, low and rhythmic, creating a sound that vibrates in your chest, in your bones, in your very cells. It's ancient and primordial, this sound, older than humans, older than cities, older than everything except the river and the earth and the sky. It connects you to something vast and old and wise. Swallows swoop and dive over the water, catching insects in the cooling air. Their flight is impossibly graceful, impossibly fast, their wings cutting through the air with barely a sound. They come so close you could almost touch them, could almost reach out and feel the wind of their passing. But you don't move. You don't need to move. You're content to simply watch, simply witness, simply be here as the day transitions into evening and the world prepares for night. The boat drifts on, always on, never stopping, never rushing, just continuing its eternal journey through the water, through the evening, through time itself. And you drift with it, part of it now, inseparable from it, one with it. The boundaries have dissolved completely. You're not in the boat. You are the boat. You're not on the river. You are the river. You're not watching the evening. You are the evening, the gathering dusk, the first stars, the fireflies, the calling frogs, all of it, everything, one infinite peaceful moment stretching out forever. Your eyes are closed, have been closed, will always be closed now. Behind them you see patterns of light, soft and swirling, like the aurora borealis, like nebulae, like the patterns your blood makes moving through your veins. You're turning inward now, drifting inward, finding that infinite space inside that's bigger than the outside, that contains everything, that is everything. The river carries you on through the gathering evening, through the first stars and the firefly light and the perfect peace. It knows where it's going. You don't need to know. You don't need to do anything except this. Float, breathe, surrender, sleep, dream. The river will take care of everything else. It always has. It always will. Twilight has settled over the river now, that magical time when the world exists between states, between light and dark, between day and night, between waking and sleeping. The sky has deepened to a blue so rich it's almost purple, and more stars are appearing now, one by one, blinking into existence like thoughts, like memories, like dreams being born. Your boat continues its endless drift through water that has become dark and mysterious. You can no longer see the bottom. can no longer distinguish where the water ends and the sky begins. Everything has merged into one vast, gentle darkness, soft and welcoming and safe. The darkness doesn't frighten you. It comforts you. It's like being wrapped in velvet, like being held in the softest embrace imaginable. The fireflies are everywhere now, hundreds of them, perhaps thousands. They blink and pulse along both banks, in the reeds, in the grass, among the trees. Each one is a tiny heartbeat of light, a small pulse of life in the gathering dark. Together they create a constellation on earth, a mirror of the stars above. You drift between these two galaxies, the stars in the sky and the fireflies on the land, suspended between heaven and earth, belonging to both, belonging to neither, simply being. The air has grown cooler still, but you're perfectly comfortable. Your body has adjusted without you noticing, or perhaps you're beyond noticing now, beyond caring about such things. Temperature, sensation, even time itself, they've all become irrelevant, distant, like memories of things that once mattered but no longer do. All that matters is this: the gentle rocking of the boat, the soft darkness, the stars and fireflies, and the profound peace that has settled over everything like dew. An owl calls from somewhere in the trees, its voice deep and resonant, echoing across the water. Who, it asks, but it's not really a question. It's a statement, a greeting, an acknowledgement of your presence in its nighttime world. Another owl answers from the opposite bank, and their conversation continues, back and forth, slow and measured, punctuating the silence without breaking it. The river has its own music now, the music of night. The frogs continue their chorus, but deeper now, slower, like a heartbeat, like the pulse of the earth itself. There's the occasional splash of a fish jumping, the rustle of reeds in the gentle breeze, the whisper of water moving around your boat. All these sounds weave together into a nocturne, a lullaby composed by nature itself, specifically for this moment, specifically for you. The moon is rising now, though you sense it more than see it at first. The darkness begins to glow, to soften, to take on a silvery quality. And then there it is, enormous and golden on the horizon, climbing slowly into the darkening sky. It's nearly full, round, and luminous, casting a path of light across the water. Your boat drifts into this moon path, and suddenly you're floating on liquid silver, on light-made water, on something too beautiful to have a name. The moonlight transforms everything. The darkness becomes shades of silver and grey and soft blue. You can see the banks again, ghostly and ethereal in the moon's glow. The trees are silhouettes now, dark shapes against the lighter sky, like shadow puppets, like memories, like dreams taking form. The water shimmers and sparkles where the moonlight touches it, each tiny ripple becoming a mirror, a diamond, a star. Your boat casts a shadow now, a dark shape on the silver water, following you as you drift. It's your companion, your silent friend, always there, always moving with you, never separate. You watch it sliding across the moonlit surface, and it's almost as real as you are, almost as solid, almost as present. Perhaps it is you. Perhaps you're both shadows now, both dreams, both parts of the same peaceful illusion. The moon climbs higher, growing smaller but brighter as it rises. Its light is cool and gentle, not harsh like the sun, not demanding. It simply offers itself, illuminates without expectation, gives without asking for anything in return. You bathe in this moonlight, let it wash over you, let it soak into your skin, into your bones, into your soul. You're made of moonlight now, you think, made of silver and shadow and soft night air. A bat flits past, quick and silent, its path erratic and purposeful at once. It's hunting, using senses you can't even imagine, seeing with sound, navigating by echo. It disappears into the darkness and reappears in the moonlight, over and over, there and gone, like thoughts, like breaths, like heartbeats. Life continues even in the darkness, especially in the darkness. The night is just as alive as the day, just quieter about it, more subtle, more gentle. The banks here are lined with weeping willows, their branches hanging down into the water like curtains, like veils, like the hair of some ancient goddess of the river. The moonlight catches in their leaves, making them glow softly, creating walls of silver-green light on either side of you. You drift between them, through them, as if passing through doorways, through portals, through gates that lead deeper and deeper into peace, into rest, into the soft embrace of sleep. Your breathing has synchronized with everything now, with the rocking of the boat, with the ripples on the water, with the blinking of fireflies, with the slow climb of the moon. In and out, rise and fall, light and dark, sleeping and waking. All boundaries have dissolved. Everything is one rhythm, one breath, one heartbeat. You're not separate from any of it. You never were separate. That was just an illusion, and the illusion has fallen away, leaving only truth, only peace, only this eternal now. The river widens into something almost lake-like here, and the current becomes so gentle that you're not sure you're moving at all anymore. Perhaps you've stopped. Perhaps you've been stopped all along. Perhaps movement was just another illusion, and really you've been here forever, floating on this moonlit water, suspended in this perfect moment that has no beginning and no end. The stars are brilliant now, more than you've ever seen. The Milky Way stretches across the sky like a river of light, a cosmic mirror of the river you float upon. You're drifting on two rivers at once, you realize. The river of water and the river of stars. They're flowing in the same direction, toward the same destination, which is nowhere at all, which is everywhere at once, which is simply the eternal present moment. A shooting star streaks across the sky, brief and brilliant, gone almost before you register it. But you saw it. You witnessed that moment of cosmic beauty, that small piece of the universe burning bright as it fell. Everything falls eventually. Everything flows. Everything moves toward the same peaceful dissolution. The shooting star knew this. The river knows this. And somewhere deep inside, deeper than thought, deeper than memory, you know this too. Your body is barely there anymore. It's become so relaxed, so still, so peaceful that it's almost vanished entirely. You're aware of it the way you're aware of the boat, as something that holds you but isn't you, something that carries you but isn't necessary, something that will eventually dissolve back into the elements it came from, returning water to water, earth to earth, air to air, leaving only the essential you, which was never born and can never die, which is eternal as the river, infinite as the stars. The moon's reflection on the water is a road, a path, a way forward that leads nowhere except deeper into peace. Your boat follows this path without steering, without choosing, simply following because that's what boats do, what rivers do, what you do. You follow the path of light through the darkness, trusting completely, knowing without knowing that wherever this path leads is exactly where you need to be. And so you drift on through the twilight waters, through the moonlight and starlight and firefly light, through the soft darkness and the softer peace. The river holds you. The night embraces you. The universe rocks you gently in its infinite arms. You're safe here. You're home here. You always have been. You always will be. Sleep now. Dream now. Let go completely now. The river will carry you on. The river opens into a pool now, wide and circular and perfectly still. It's as if the water has been holding its breath, waiting for you, and now exhales gently as your boat glides into its center. The pool is rimmed by ancient stones, smooth and rounded by countless years of water and weather. They glow pale in the moonlight, like bones, like pearls, like the remnants of some forgotten temple that nature has reclaimed and made holy again. Your boat slows even more, the current here so gentle it's barely movement at all. You spin slowly, lazily, turning in place, showing you first one part of the pool, then another, a slow revolution that might take minutes or hours or days. Time has lost all meaning here in this still place, this pause in the river's journey, this breath between breaths. The moon hangs directly overhead now, perfectly centered in the circle of sky framed by the trees surrounding the pool. Its reflection below is equally perfect, equally centered, a twin moon hanging in the dark water. You float between them, equidistant from both, suspended between the heavens above and the heavens below. The pool has become a mirror, and you can't tell which moon is real, which is reflection. Perhaps both are real. Perhaps both are reflections. Perhaps there's no difference at all. The silence here is profound, almost tangible. It's not the absence of sound, but the presence of something deeper, something that exists beneath sound, before sound, beyond sound. You can hear your own breath, slow and deep and peaceful. You can hear the faint whisper of your heartbeat. These are the only sounds, and even they seem distant, as if they're happening to someone else, somewhere else, someone else. Mist is rising from the water now, thin wisps of white that curl and twist in the air like spirits, like dreams made visible, like thoughts taking form. The mist catches the moonlight and glows softly, creating a luminous veil between you and the world. You're drifting through clouds now, floating through heaven, suspended in some liminal space where water becomes air, air becomes light, light becomes nothing and everything at once. The stones around the pool are covered in moss and lichen that glow faintly in the darkness, phosphorescent somehow, adding their own soft light to the moonlight. The effect is magical, otherworldly, as if you've drifted into a fairy tale, into a legend, into a story told around fires long ago about a sacred pool where those who find it are granted perfect peace, perfect rest, perfect dreams. Your boat continues its slow rotation in the center of the pool. With each turn you see something different and the same. A willow trailing its fingers in the water. A flat stone perfect for sitting and watching. A gap in the trees where you can see distant hills silhouetted against the starlit sky. And then the willow again, the stone again, the gap again, eternal return, nothing changing and everything changing, the same moment experienced infinite times, each time new, each time perfect. The water here is so still that every star in the sky is reflected on its surface. Not just the bright ones, but all of them, thousands upon thousands, creating a second sky beneath you. You're floating through space now, through a universe of stars, no longer bound by gravity or Earth or the normal rules of reality. You're weightless, timeless, infinite, a consciousness drifting through the cosmos on a wooden boat that might be a spaceship, might be a leaf, might be nothing but a dream. A fish rises to the surface somewhere nearby, its movement barely disturbing the stillness. The ripples spread out slowly, very slowly, carrying the reflected stars with them, making the cosmos ripple and wave like a flag in slow motion. The stars blur and reform, and you watch this mesmerized, understanding something without words, something about the nature of reality, about how everything is always moving and changing even when it seems still, how nothing is solid, how everything is just patterns of energy dancing in the void. Your breathing has become so slow now that each breath seems to last forever. You breathe in the moonlight, the starlight, the mist, the peace. You breathe in the stillness itself, if stillness can be breathed. And when you exhale, you release everything, every worry, every thought, every memory, every piece of who you thought you were. With each exhale you become less, and the less you become, the more you are. It's a paradox that your mind can't grasp, but your soul understands perfectly. The boat has stopped rotating now, or perhaps you've just stopped noticing. Perhaps you've stopped caring about movement or stillness, or any distinction at all. You're simply here, in the center of the pool, in the center of the universe, in the center of yourself. All centers are the same center. All stillness is the same stillness. All peace is the same peace. The trees around the pool are perfectly reflected in the water, creating a complete circle of forest above and below. You're floating in the center of a sphere of nature, enclosed completely, held absolutely. It's like being inside a geode, inside a crystal ball, inside the universe's own heart. You're protected here. Nothing can reach you here. Nothing can disturb this perfect peace. An owl glides silently across the pool, its wings spread wide, its flight utterly soundless. Its shadow passes over you, and you feel it rather than see it, a momentary deepening of the darkness, a brief absence of moonlight. And then it's gone, disappeared into the trees on the far side, hunting, being, existing in its perfect owl way while you exist in your perfect human way, or perhaps beyond human now, beyond any designation, just being, just awareness, just this. The mist is thicker now, or perhaps you're sinking into it, descending slowly through layers of cloud and dream. The world is soft and white and peaceful, undefined, unlimited, infinite possibility waiting to become something or nothing or everything. You could stay here forever, you think, or perhaps you have stayed here forever, or perhaps forever is just another word for now, for this, for the eternal present that has no duration because it contains all duration. Your body is gone now. You're sure of this. Somewhere there might be hands, feet, a heartbeat, breath, but they're not yours anymore. Or perhaps they were never yours. Or perhaps the very concept of possession has dissolved along with everything else. There's just awareness now, just consciousness, just presence floating in absence, just something in nothing, just is. The moon seems closer now, larger, as if it's descending toward the pool, or the pool is rising toward it. The distance between things is collapsing. Everything is moving toward everything else, toward unity, toward the singularity where all things are one thing, and that one thing is nothing and everything simultaneously. The moon and its reflection are merging. The sky and the water are merging. You and the universe are merging. Or perhaps you were never separate to begin with. The pool holds you like water holds water, completely, perfectly, without effort or intention or any sense of holding at all. You're being held by yourself, by nothing, by everything. You're the pool and the boat and the moon and the stars and the mist and the silence. You're the moment between moments, the space between spaces, the peace beyond peace. And in this perfect stillness, in this absolute peace, in this center of all centers, you rest, deeply, completely, absolutely. The river has brought you here, to this sacred pool, to this still point in the turning world, to this place of perfect rest. And here you can stay, floating in stillness, wrapped in silence, held by peace, for as long as you need, for as long as forever, for as long as now. Slowly, so slowly you barely notice, the pool begins to release you. A gentle current appears, almost imperceptible, a whisper of movement in the perfect stillness. Your boat turns, catches this current, begins to drift again. The movement is so gradual, so tender, like waking from the deepest sleep, like being born, like the first breath after meditation. The stillness doesn't end so much as it transforms, becomes movement, becomes flow again. The mist parts before you like a curtain opening, revealing the continuation of the river. It's narrower here, more intimate, the banks closer together. The trees lean in protectively, their branches creating a tunnel through which the moonlight filters in soft, scattered beams. You're leaving the sacred pool but carrying its peace with you, wrapped around you like a cloak, like a blessing, like a memory that will never fade. The river's voice returns, gentle and welcoming, the soft murmur of water moving over smooth stones. It's a quieter voice than before, hushed and reverent, as if the river itself has been changed by passing through the pool, as if it too learned something about stillness, about silence, about the peace that lives at the center of all movement. The sound is comforting, familiar, like coming home after a long journey to find everything exactly as you left it. The boat rocks gently as it moves back into the current's embrace. The rocking is soothing, rhythmic, a return to the lullaby motion that has carried you for so long, that will carry you for so much longer. Your body, wherever it is, remembers this motion, trusts this motion, surrenders to this motion completely. There's nothing to fear in the movement. It's just the river being the river, doing what rivers do, flowing endlessly toward the sea, toward dawn, toward the infinite horizon. The stars are still brilliant overhead, but they seem friendlier now, closer somehow, like companions rather than distant lights. Each one is a friend watching over you, keeping vigil while you drift and dream. The constellations tell their ancient stories in the sky, myths older than memory, patterns that humans have seen and named and loved for thousands of years. You're part of that lineage now, part of that ancient human tradition of looking up at the stars and finding meaning, finding beauty, finding home in the vastness of space. The banks here are covered in night-blooming flowers. You can smell them before you see them. Jasmine and moonflower and night-blooming water lily, their fragrance is sweet and intoxicating in the cool night air. They've opened their petals to the moon, giving their scent to the darkness, generous and unasking. You breathe in their perfume, and it's like breathing in peace itself, like inhaling serenity, like drawing the essence of night into your lungs and letting it spread through your body, through your mind, through your soul. A nightingale is singing somewhere in the darkness, its song so beautiful it almost hurts. The notes cascade and trill, pure and clear and heartbreakingly lovely. It sings to the night, to the moon, to itself, to you. The song needs no audience, requires no response. It simply is perfect and complete, existing for its own sake, for the pure joy of existing. You listen, and listening becomes a kind of prayer, a kind of meditation, a kind of love. The river curves gently, and around the bend the landscape opens up again. You can see across the water now to rolling meadows silvered by moonlight, to distant forests dark against the star-filled sky, to hills that rise and fall like gentle breathing, like waves frozen in earth, like the dreams of some sleeping giant. The world is vast and beautiful and peaceful, and you're a small boat on a small river in the middle of all this vastness, and somehow that feels exactly right. Your breath continues its slow, steady rhythm, in and out, like tides, like seasons, like the orbit of planets around stars. Breathing has become everything and nothing, a natural process you're barely aware of, something your body does without thought or effort or attention. You could stop thinking about breathing forever and still keep breathing. Your body knows what to do. The river knows what to do. Everything knows what to do except maybe worry or plan or try to control, and those things have floated away downstream, lost in the current, gone forever. A beaver swims past your boat, its head cutting a V through the water, its wake spreading out in silver lines behind it. It's carrying a branch, heading home to its lodge, doing what beavers do, being what beavers are. It glances at you with its small dark eyes, unafraid, simply curious about this other night creature sharing the river. And then it dives, disappearing beneath the surface with barely a splash, gone to its underwater entrance, to its safe den, to its beaver dreams. The moonlight on the water creates patterns that shift and change as you drift. Bright patches and dark patches, silver and shadow, light dancing on liquid darkness. The patterns are hypnotic, meaningless and meaningful at once, like watching clouds, like watching flames, like watching anything beautiful enough that your mind stops trying to understand and simply witnesses, simply receives, simply exists in the presence of beauty. The boat carries you past a fallen tree that stretches halfway across the river, its branches creating a natural sculpture, a piece of art made by time and water and decay and growth all working together. Mushrooms grow on its bark, glowing faintly with their own phosphorescence, adding their small lights to the moonlight and starlight. Everything glows here. Everything contributes to the illumination. Even in darkness there is light, always light, light that comes from within things as much as from without. Your mind is so quiet now, so still. Thoughts arise so rarely, and when they do, they're like bubbles rising through water, popping silently at the surface, gone before they can be grasped or examined or followed. And that's perfect. You don't need thoughts here. Thoughts are for problems, for planning, for a different kind of life than this one, this floating life, this dreaming life, this life of perfect surrender to the present moment. The river is leading you somewhere, always leading you somewhere, but the somewhere is just more river, more moonlight, more peace. There's no destination because every moment is already the destination. Every breath is already arrival. You've been arriving all along, will always be arriving, are arriving now in this perfect eternal present that contains all past and all future, but exists only here, only now, only always. The night deepens around you, becomes richer, fuller, more complete. It's not dark so much as it is deeply, profoundly blue, with the moon and stars providing enough light to see everything in soft focus, in gentle suggestion, in dream-like beauty. This is how the world looks when you're halfway between waking and sleeping, when consciousness has loosened its grip, when the mind has surrendered to the body's wisdom, which is to rest, to restore, to dream. And so you drift on through the night-blessed river, through the moonlight and shadow and sweet night air. The current carries you gently, endlessly, without question or doubt. The river knows where it's going even if you don't, even if there's nowhere to go, even if going and staying are the same thing. You trust the river completely. You trust the night completely. You trust this moment completely. And in that trust, you find the deepest rest, the sweetest peace, the most perfect sleep. The night has reached its deepest point now, that hour when the world is furthest from dawn, when darkness is most complete, when sleep is most profound. The moon has travelled across the sky and hangs lower now, larger again as it approaches the horizon on the other side of the world. Its light has taken on a warmer quality, more golden than silver, like honey, like amber, like light filtered through time itself. Your boat drifts through this deep night water, and the river has become a ribbon of liquid darkness, mysterious and ancient and alive. You can barely see where the water ends and the banks begin. Everything has merged into shadow, into suggestion, into the soft formlessness of deep night when boundaries dissolve and the world becomes one seamless darkness, broken only by moonlight and starlight and the tiny pulse of fireflies that still dance along the invisible shores. The sound of the river is different at this hour, deeper somehow, more resonant, as if you're hearing not just the surface water but the whole river, all the way down to the stones on the bottom, all the way into the earth beneath. It's a sound that vibrates through everything, through the boat, through the air, through you. You don't just hear it. You feel it in your chest, in your bones, in places that have no name but exist somewhere between body and spirit. Creatures of the deep night move in the darkness around you. You hear them more than see them, the splash of a fish, the rustle of something in the reeds, the soft flutter of bat wings passing overhead. The night belongs to them, and you're a guest in their world, welcomed and accepted, another creature of darkness drifting through their realm. There's a kinship in this, a connection to these other beings who thrive in shadow, who know the secrets of night, who understand that darkness is not absence but presence, not emptiness but fullness. The stars have wheeled across the sky, turning their slow ancient dance. Different constellations are visible now than were there hours ago. The sky is always changing, always moving, and yet always the same. The same stars humans have looked up at for all of history, the same lights that guided ancient travelers, that inspired myths and legends, that watched over sleeping villages and wandering nomads. You look up at them and feel connected to all those who came before, all those who drifted down rivers in the deep night, all those who trusted the darkness and found peace in letting go. Your breathing has become so slow and so deep that each breath seems to contain a lifetime. You breathe in the night air, cool and clean and perfect, and it travels all the way down, filling you, renewing you, cleaning away anything stale or tired or worn. And when you breathe out, the breath leaves slowly, reluctantly, carrying with it any last fragments of tension, any last whispers of worry, any last echoes of the waking world. With each cycle of breath you become emptier and fuller at once, more absent and more present, more asleep and more aware. The river widens here into another still section, not as perfectly circular as the pool but calm nonetheless, a place where the current slows and the water rests before continuing its journey. Your boat enters this calm water, and the rocking motion becomes even gentler, even more subtle, almost imperceptible. You're floating on glass again, on silence, on the very surface of peace itself. Fog is forming now, rising from the water in thick, soft clouds. It's different from the earlier mist, denser, more tangible, wrapping around everything like cotton, like wool, like the softest blanket imaginable. The fog muffles sound, absorbs light, creates a cocoon of white and grey that encloses you completely. You can barely see beyond the edges of your boat now. The world has shrunk to just this small space, this boat, this moment, this breath, and somehow that feels like everything you need. In the fog, distance becomes meaningless. The banks could be inches away or miles away. You could be in a small stream or a vast ocean. Scale has dissolved along with everything else. There's just the fog, the boat, the water beneath, the sky above, and you floating peacefully in the center of it all, held safely in this white world, this liminal space, this place between places. Sounds come to you through the fog, distorted and dreamlike. A bird calling somewhere far away, its voice muffled and strange. Water lapping against an unseen shore. Your own heartbeat, steady and slow, the quietest sound and somehow the loudest. Everything is inside and outside at once. The boundaries between inner and outer have dissolved along with all other boundaries. You are the fog, the boat, the river, the night. You are everything and nothing, everywhere and nowhere, sleeping and waking and something beyond both. The moon is just aglow now, a soft light diffused through the fog, illuminating everything and nothing. You can't see it directly, but you know it's there, feel its presence, trust its light even when you can't see it clearly. Faith, you think, or maybe you don't think it, maybe you just feel it, this understanding that you can trust what you can't see, that you can surrender to what you don't understand, that you can let go completely and still be held. Your body has been gone for so long now that you've forgotten it ever existed. Or perhaps it's still there, still breathing, still floating, still being, but you've traveled so far inward that the body seems like something from another life, another world, another dream. You're pure awareness now, pure consciousness, a single point of knowing suspended in vast unknowing, and the unknowing is comfortable, welcoming, safe. The boat moves through the fog without guidance, without direction, simply following the water's subtle currents, the gentle suggestions of flow. It knows where to go without knowing, arrives without leaving, is always already there while always moving. This paradox no longer confuses you. In the deep night, in the deep fog, in the deep peace, paradox is the only truth. Everything is its opposite and also itself. Rest is journey. Stillness is motion. Sleep is the deepest waking. Time has stopped completely now, or perhaps time was never real to begin with, just a construct, a story we tell ourselves to make sense of the eternal now. In the fog, in the night, in this moment, there is no past to remember, no future to anticipate, just this, just now, just the eternal present stretching out in all directions, infinite and intimate at once. A fish jumps somewhere in the fog, and you hear the splash but see nothing. The sound echoes strangely, as if happening in all directions at once, as if happening inside your own mind. Perhaps it is inside your own mind. Perhaps everything is. Perhaps the river and the boat and the night are all dreams you're dreaming, or dreams dreaming you, or dreams dreaming themselves. It doesn't matter which. The dream is beautiful either way. The fog begins to thin slightly, and you catch glimpses of the world beyond it. A tree emerging from whiteness. A star visible for a moment before the fog closes again. The suggestion of a bank, dark and solid. These glimpses are like memories, like thoughts, appearing briefly and disappearing again, never quite graspable, never quite real, always shifting back into the fog, back into unknowing, back into the vast white mystery. And in this mystery, in this fog, in this deepest part of the night, you rest more deeply than you've ever rested before. The fog holds you. The river carries you. The darkness embraces you. You're safe here, so safe, safer than you've ever been. Nothing can reach you here. Nothing can disturb you here. You're hidden in the heart of night, wrapped in fog and peace, and the absolute certainty that everything is exactly as it should be. The boat drifts on through the fog, through the deep night, through the timeless moment, and you drift with it, or you are it, or it is you, or none of those distinctions matter anymore. There's just drifting, just being, just this perfect, peaceful, eternal now. Something is changing in the deep night, a shift so subtle you barely perceive it. The darkness is still complete, the stars still brilliant, the fog still wrapped around everything like a soft embrace. But there's a quality to the air now, a feeling, a whisper of something approaching. The night has held you for so long, cradled you through its deepest hours, and now it prepares, slowly, gently, to release you into whatever comes next. The fog is thinning, dissolving gradually into the air like sugar into water, like dreams into waking, like one state of being into another. You can see further now, can make out the shapes of trees on the banks, the curve of the river ahead, the soft forms of hills in the distance. The world is revealing itself again, emerging from mystery into gentle knowing, but slowly, carefully, with infinite patience. Your boat continues its drift through this transforming darkness. The water beneath is still dark, still mysterious, but there's a suggestion of colour returning to it, the faintest hint of blue where before there was only black. It's as if the river is remembering what it looks like, is preparing to be seen again, is gathering itself for the transition from night into whatever follows night. The stars are beginning to fade, the faintest ones first, winking out one by one like candles being extinguished. The darkness is not growing lighter yet, not exactly, but it's becoming less absolute, less total. It's a darkness that knows its time is finite, that holds on gently but doesn't cling, that accepts change as naturally as the river accepts the flow of water. The moon has set now, has disappeared below the horizon, leaving the world in that brief moment between moonlight and sunlight, between one kind of illumination and another. This is the darkest moment, and also the moment of greatest anticipation. The world holds its breath. The river holds its breath. You hold your breath, or perhaps you've been holding it all along, or perhaps breath itself has become irrelevant in this suspended moment. Birds are stirring in the trees, not singing yet, but making small sounds, rustling sounds, waking sounds. You hear them moving in branches, settling their feathers, preparing for the day, even though day hasn't arrived yet. They know. They always know. They feel the approach of dawn in their small bodies, in their bird hearts, in instincts older than thought. The air is changing temperature, growing cooler as it often does just before dawn. The coldest hour, they call it, this moment before sunrise. But the cold isn't harsh. It's refreshing, cleansing, like cold water on warm skin, like a gentle wake-up call that doesn't demand you wake, only suggests it, only offers it as a possibility you're free to accept or decline. Your breathing continues, steady and deep, but perhaps slightly faster now, slightly fuller, as if your body knows what your mind doesn't, as if your lungs are preparing for a new day even while you float in the last moments of night. The breath connects you to everything, to the birds stirring in trees, to the river flowing beneath you, to the world slowly turning toward light. The darkness is definitely changing now, becoming not lighter but different, less solid, more transparent, as if you could see through it to something beyond. The eastern horizon, though you can't see it directly from here on the river, must be preparing its display, gathering colors, mixing light with darkness in ways that create the impossible beauty of dawn. The river curves, and you follow it naturally, effortlessly, the boat responding to every subtle shift in current as if it were alive, as if it shared consciousness with the water, as if the boundary between boat and river were as permeable as all other boundaries here. The curve is gentle, easy, leading you toward something, though what that something is remains undefined, unnamed, unnecessary to know. The sounds of night are fading. The frogs have fallen silent, their chorus complete. The crickets, too, have stopped their singing. In the silence left behind, you hear other sounds emerging. The whisper of wind through leaves, different from the night wind, warmer somehow, more purposeful. The soft gurgle of water moving over stones. Your own breath, still there, still steady, still anchoring you to existence even as everything else transforms. A single bird begins to sing, tentative at first, testing its voice in the darkness. It's a robin, though you know this without knowing how you know, its song clear and sweet and brave in the pre-dawn silence. Other birds answer, slowly, one by one, until a chorus is building, growing, filling the air with sound, with life, with the irrepressible energy of morning, even though morning hasn't quite arrived. The darkness is definitely less now. You can see color creeping back into the world, the green of leaves, the brown of tree trunks, the silvery glint of water. Colors that had disappeared into night are returning, being reborn, proving that nothing is ever truly lost, only transformed, only hidden for a while before emerging again. Your boat drifts past a family of ducks already awake, already moving, the ducklings following their mother in perfect formation. They paddle past you in the growing light, and you can see their shapes clearly now, can see the water droplets falling from their bills, can see life continuing, life persisting, life carrying on regardless of night or day or any human concerns. The sky is changing. You can feel it even though you're not looking at it directly. Your eyes closed or nearly closed, consciousness turned inward and outward at once. The stars that remain are fighting a losing battle with the approaching dawn, their light becoming pale, becoming faint, becoming memory. You realize you've drifted through an entire night, have floated from afternoon through evening, through twilight, through deep night, and into this moment, this threshold, this doorway between darkness and light. The journey has been timeless and has taken all the time in the world. Both are true. Neither is true. Truth itself has become fluid here, has become another thing flowing like the river. Your body is still deeply relaxed, still resting in the boat, still surrendered to this experience. But there's an awareness returning, a gentle coming back, not unwelcome, not forced, just a natural progression, a natural transformation, like the night transforming into day, like sleep transforming into waking, like one dream transforming into another. The river widens again here, opens into another broad section where the current is gentle and the water calm. The surface is like dark glass becoming clearer, becoming more transparent, reflecting the sky above, which is itself becoming clearer, becoming lighter, preparing for the great transformation of sunrise. In this moment before dawn, in this threshold between night and day, you float peacefully, completely at ease with the transition, trusting it as you've trusted everything on this journey. The night has been good to you, has held you safely, has given you its peace. And now, as it prepares to become something else, you prepare as well, or you don't prepare at all. You simply allow, simply accept, simply continue this perfect drift into whatever comes next. The darkness is becoming twilight now, that soft grey light that isn't quite night and isn't quite day, that belongs to neither and to both. In this twilight, the world is soft and gentle and hushed, waiting, watching, witnessing its own transformation with the same peaceful acceptance that you've learned from the river. And so you drift on through this moment before dawn, this beautiful in-between time, this sacred threshold. The river carries you faithfully, as it has all night, as it will continue to do, as rivers have always done for those who trust them, for those who let go, for those who surrender to the current and find in that surrender the deepest peace, the sweetest rest, the most profound trust in life itself. The eastern horizon is glowing now, a soft luminescence that spreads across the sky like watercolor on wet paper. The darkness hasn't fled, but is being gently persuaded to transform, to become something else, to release its hold on the world with grace and beauty. The first light is not yet sunlight, but the promise of sunlight, the announcement of dawn, the whisper that precedes the song. Your boat drifts through water that is transforming moment by moment. The darkness that filled the river all night is lifting, and you can see down into the water now, can see the stones on the bottom again, can see small fish beginning to move in the growing light. The river is waking, or perhaps it never slept. Perhaps rivers don't sleep. They only seem to in the darkness, only appear to rest while actually continuing their eternal flow. The sky is painted now in the softest colors imaginable, grey fading into pale blue, touched with the faintest hints of pink and gold at the horizon. These colors shift and change even as you watch, deepening, brightening, preparing for the grand entrance of the sun. The clouds that float in this pre-dawn sky are works of art, each one brushed with light from below, glowing softly against the darker sky above. The bird chorus has grown fuller now, more confident, more joyous. Cardinals and wrens and sparrows and a dozen other species you can't name all singing together, creating a symphony of morning, a celebration of the returning light. Their songs overlap and interweave, each bird adding its voice to the collective music, and the result is something transcendent, something that makes your heart feel full and light at once. The trees along the banks are becoming visible now, individual again rather than just dark shapes in darkness. You can see the texture of their bark, the shapes of their leaves, the way branches reach toward the sky. The willows are draped in morning dew that catches the growing light, making them sparkle like they're hung with tiny diamonds. Everything is wet with dew, the grass, the flowers, the stones, everything jeweled and precious in the dawn. Your breathing continues its gentle rhythm, perhaps a little deeper now, a little fuller, as if breathing in the morning itself, as if the growing light was something you could inhale and hold inside your body. Your chest rises and falls, and each breath feels like renewal, like rebirth, like the world being created fresh with each inhalation. The river has widened considerably here, becoming almost lake-like, and the growing light reflects off its surface in long, shimmering paths. The water is so calm that the reflection of the sky is perfect, mirror-like, and you're floating between two dawns, one above and one below, both equally real, both equally beautiful. The boundary between sky and water has become invisible, and you're suspended in a world made entirely of soft light and gentle color. A heron stands in the shallows, perfectly still, silhouetted against the glowing eastern sky. It's waiting, patient as stone, for the right moment to strike at a passing fish. But there's no urgency in its waiting, no anxiety. It simply stands and watches and waits, completely present, completely at peace with its task. You drift past, and the heron doesn't move, doesn't acknowledge you, simply continues its patient vigil, a teacher of stillness, a master of presence. The air smells different now, fresh and clean and alive with growing things. The night scents of jasmine and honeysuckle are being replaced by morning scents, dew on grass, earth warming in the sun's approach, the green smell of leaves in daylight. You breathe it all in, this smell of beginning, this fragrance of renewal, and it fills you with something you can't quite name, but that feels like hope, like possibility, like the gentle joy of simply being alive. The light is growing stronger now, no longer just a glow on the horizon, but spreading across the entire sky, pushing the darkness up and away, revealing the world in ever greater detail. You can see individual blades of grass on the banks now, can see flowers opening their petals to greet the day, can see the intricate patterns of leaves against the brightening sky. A family of otters appears, swimming and playing in the water near the far bank. They're joyous, exuberant, diving and surfacing and chasing each other with pure delight. Their play is infectious, and you find yourself smiling, or imagining smiling, your face so relaxed it's hard to tell if you're smiling or just peacefully present. The otters remind you that life is meant to be enjoyed, that play is sacred, that joy is a choice available in every moment. The current carries you around another gentle bend, and suddenly the full eastern sky is visible, a vast canvas of rose and gold and amber and peach, colors so beautiful they seem impossible, seem like they must be a dream, but they're real, they're here, they're now. The horizon is on fire with light that hasn't yet revealed its source. The sun still hidden below the edge of the world, but announcing its arrival with this spectacular display. Your body feels different now, lighter somehow, more present, as if the growing light is calling you back from wherever you've been, gently inviting you to return to form, to shape, to the awareness of being a body in a boat on a river. But the return is gentle, easy, without any sense of urgency or force. You can come back slowly, or not at all, or somewhere in between. There's no wrong way to experience this dawn. The stars have all vanished now except for one, the morning star, Venus, hanging bright and steady in the lightening sky. It's the last holdout of night, the final witness to darkness, and it shines bravely even as the sky grows brighter around it. Soon it too will fade, but for now it remains, a bridge between night and day, between the world you've been floating through and the world that's emerging. The river's voice has changed with the light. The sounds are crisper now, clearer, more distinct. You can hear individual notes in the water's song rather than just a general murmur. The gurgle over stones here, the lap against the bank there, the gentle splash of your boat moving through the water. Each sound is separate and clear, no longer blurred together in the soft confusion of night. A breeze picks up, the first real breeze since the deep night, and it carries warmth, the promise of the sun's heat to come. It rustles through the trees and grass, creating a sound like applause, like the world welcoming the new day, celebrating its arrival. The breeze touches your face, your arms, your hands, and the touch feels like a blessing, like a gentle reminder that you have a body, that you're here, that you're part of this beautiful unfolding moment. The sky continues to brighten, the colors intensifying, the light growing stronger. Any moment now, any second, the sun will crest the horizon and flood the world with its light. The anticipation is palpable, not anxious but excited, the way a child feels on the morning of a special day. The world is waiting, watching, ready to receive the gift of another day, another chance, another beginning. And you wait too, floating peacefully on your boat, carried by the river that has held you all night, that has brought you safely through darkness into light. You wait with the same patience as the heron, the same trust as the river, the same peace as the dawn itself. And in this waiting, in this moment of perfect anticipation, you are completely, absolutely, perfectly at peace. And then it happens. The sun breaks free of the horizon, a sliver of brilliant gold that spills light across the world like liquid fire, like molten hope, like the universe's own announcement that darkness has passed and light has returned. The first ray of sunlight stretches across the water, creating a path of gold that leads directly to your boat, as if the sun has risen specifically for you, as if this dawn exists for this moment, for this perfect now. The transformation is immediate and complete. The soft colors of pre-dawn are suddenly brilliant, vivid, alive with intensity. The sky blazes with orange and pink and gold. The water sparkles and dances with reflected light. The trees along the banks are illuminated as if from within, their leaves glowing green and gold. Everything is touched by this light, transformed by it, made new by it. Your boat drifts through the sun's golden path, and the light falls on you like a benediction, like a blessing, like love made visible. It's warm on your face, on your closed eyelids, on your hands. The warmth seeps into your skin, into your muscles, into your bones, chasing away the coolness of night, filling you with gentle heat, with life, with the pure energy of the sun that has traveled 93 million miles just to reach you here, now, in this moment. The world is singing now, truly singing. The bird chorus has reached a crescendo of joy, every bird pouring its heart into song, celebrating the light, celebrating life, celebrating the simple fact of existence in this beautiful moment. Their songs rise and fall and interweave, creating harmonies that seem impossible, seem too perfect to be random, as if the universe itself were conducting this symphony. The river sparkles with 1,000 points of light, each ripple catching the sun and throwing it back, creating a constantly shifting pattern of brilliance that's almost too beautiful to look at directly. The water has come fully alive in the sunlight, no longer dark and mysterious, but clear and bright and joyful. You can see fish swimming below, their scales flashing silver and gold. You can see plants swaying in the gentle current, their underwater dance made visible by the light. The banks are awash with color now. Wildflowers that were invisible in the darkness are revealed in all their glory. Purple asters and yellow coneflowers and red cardinal flowers and white Queen Anne's lace. Butterflies are already moving among them, drawn by the warmth and the light, their wings catching the sun as they float from flower to flower. A monarch lands on the edge of your boat for a moment, opens and closes its wings slowly, warming them in the sun, and then lifts off again, a small flame of orange and black drifting into the morning. Your breathing deepens with the sunlight, as if you can breathe in the warmth itself, as if light is something that can fill your lungs along with air. Each breath feels energizing and relaxing at once, a paradox that somehow makes perfect sense here. Now, on this sun-blessed river, your body is remembering itself, remembering how to feel, how to be present, how to participate in the waking world. The sun climbs higher, and with each moment it grows smaller and brighter, transforming from that enormous golden disk on the horizon into a blazing point of white gold light in the brightening sky. The spectacular colors of sunrise begin to soften, to normalize, the sky transitioning from those impossible pinks and oranges into the pure blue of morning. The show is over, but the gift remains: daylight, warmth, visibility, life. A dragonfly hovers in front of you, its wings catching the light and creating rainbows, its body so brilliantly blue it seems to glow with its own internal fire. It hangs motionless in the air for a long moment, a tiny helicopter made of jewels and light, and then zips away so fast you can barely follow it with your eyes. Everything is alive, everything is moving, everything is celebrating this new day. The river narrows slightly here, the banks drawing closer together, and you drift under a natural arch created by two trees leaning toward each other from opposite sides, their branches intertwined overhead. Sunlight filters through the leaves in shafts and beams, creating a cathedral of green and gold. You pass through this sacred space slowly, reverently, aware that you're being given a gift, that this beauty exists for its own sake, but also for yours, that the universe is generous beyond measure. The sound of the river in daylight is cheerful, almost musical. It gurgles and laughs as it flows over stones, creating a sound that's both soothing and energizing, both peaceful and alive. You realize you've been listening to variations of this sound all night, but in the darkness it was mysterious, contemplative, while now it's joyful, celebratory, as if the river itself is happy to be seen again, to be visible, to show itself in all its flowing beauty. You pass a small waterfall, just a few feet high, where the river drops over a ledge of stone. The water tumbles down in white foam and spray, creating a sound like laughter, like applause, like joy made audible. The spray catches the sunlight and creates a perpetual rainbow, arching from the base of the falls into the air. You drift through the rainbow's edge, and for a moment you're bathed in colored light, red and orange and yellow and green and blue and violet, all the colors of light separated and visible and magical. Your eyes are open now, or perhaps they've been open all along, or perhaps the distinction between open and closed has ceased to matter. You're seeing, truly seeing, taking in the world in all its morning glory. The light feels new to your eyes, fresh, as if you're seeing sunlight for the first time, as if every dawn is the first dawn, as if the world is created anew each morning and you get to witness the miracle. The meadows along the river are alive with activity now. Birds hop and flutter among the grass, searching for insects. A rabbit sits up on its haunches, ears alert, nose twitching, perfectly still except for its breathing. It sees you, and you see it, and for a moment you're connected across species, across the divide between human and animal, just two beings sharing this morning, this river, this life. Then it bounds away in graceful leaps, white tail flashing, disappearing into the tall grass. The sun is warm now, genuinely warm, and you can feel your body absorbing the heat, your muscles loosening further, your skin drinking in the light. The night's chill is completely gone, replaced by this gentle warmth that soaks into everything, that makes you feel alive and peaceful at once, energized and relaxed, present and dreaming. A breeze ripples across the water, creating patterns that race toward you and then past you, the river's surface momentarily animated by the wind before returning to its gentle flow. The breeze carries scents of warming earth and blooming flowers and fresh water, all mixed together into the quintessential smell of morning by a river. You breathe deeply, filling yourself with this scent, with this moment, with this perfect, beautiful now. The boat continues its drift, and you continue with it, part of it, one with it, flowing with the river through this sunlit morning. The night has passed, the darkness has transformed into light, and you've been carried safely through it all by the patient, faithful river that never stopped flowing, never stopped holding you, never stopped bringing you forward into this moment, this breath, this beautiful beginning. And in this sunrise, in this light, in this warmth and song and color and life, you feel something like gratitude, something like peace, something like the profound contentment of being exactly where you are, exactly when you are, exactly who you are. The journey continues, and you continue with it, drifting peacefully into whatever comes next, trusting the river, trusting the light, trusting the day that's unfolding around you like a flower opening its petals to the sun. The morning has fully arrived now, settled into itself with the confidence of established day. The dramatic colors of sunrise have given way to the clear blue of a perfect sky, unmarred by clouds except for a few white wisps that drift lazily across the endless expanse. The sun climbs steadily higher, and with each moment the world grows brighter, warmer, more fully awake. Your boat drifts through water that has become a brilliant blue-green in the daylight, clear and pure and inviting. The river has revealed all its secrets now. You can see every stone on the bottom, every plant swaying in the current, every fish that passes beneath your boat. Nothing is hidden anymore. The mystery of night has been replaced by the clarity of day, and both are beautiful in their own way. Both are perfect. Both are exactly what they need to be. The banks here are lush with summer growth. Tall grasses sway in the morning breeze, their seed heads catching the light like thousands of tiny lanterns. Wild roses bloom in pink profusion, their scent sweet and heady on the warming air. Morning glories have opened their trumpet-shaped flowers, blue and purple and white, greeting the day for which they're named, closing their petals later when afternoon arrives, but for now fully open, fully present, fully alive. A kingfisher perches on a branch overhanging the water, its blue plumage brilliant in the sunlight. It watches the water intently, head cocked, perfectly still except for the occasional blink of its bright eyes. Then, in a flash of blue, it dives, plunging into the water with barely a splash, emerging a moment later with a small fish in its beak. It returns to its branch, shakes the water from its feathers in a spray of droplets that catch the light like diamonds, and begins its meal. Life feeds life. The cycle continues. Everything is as it should be. Your breathing has found a new rhythm now, a daytime rhythm, still peaceful but more alert, more engaged. Each breath brings in the warm morning air, scented with flowers and grass and the clean smell of the river. Each breath out releases the last traces of sleep, the last vestiges of night, though the peace remains, always remains, a permanent gift from the darkness through which you've travelled. The river curves through a landscape of gentle hills now, rolling green slopes dotted with trees and wildflowers. Cattle graze in distant pastures, dark shapes against the green, peaceful and content. A farmhouse sits on a hilltop in the distance, white and tidy, smoke rising from its chimney into the morning sky. The sight is comforting, a reminder that humans live here too, that this beautiful land is shared, that civilization and nature can coexist in harmony. Dragonflies are everywhere now, zipping and hovering over the water's surface, their wings catching the light, their bodies jewel-bright in shades of blue and green and red. They're hunting, catching smaller insects too small for you to see, but their hunt is also a dance, graceful and swift and beautiful to watch. They land on lily pads, on reeds, on the edge of your boat, always for just a moment before launching back into the air, into their aerial ballet. The sun is warm on your skin now, pleasantly warm, soaking into you, filling you with gentle heat and light. You can feel yourself absorbing the sun's energy, feel it spreading through your body, energizing and relaxing at once. This is the warmth of life itself, the same warmth that makes plants grow and flowers bloom and all living things thrive. You're part of that great system of life, connected to everything through the simple fact of being here, of existing, of floating on this river through this morning. A turtle has climbed onto a log to sunbathe, its dark shell gleaming in the light. It's completely still, soaking up the warmth, a master of relaxation, a teacher of patience. You drift past and it doesn't move, doesn't retreat into its shell, simply continues its sun meditation, trusting that all is well, that there's nothing to fear, that this moment of warmth and peace is enough. The water makes soft sounds against your boat, gentle lapping sounds that have become so familiar they're like silence, like the sound of home, like a rhythm so integrated into your being that you barely notice it anymore. But when you do notice, when you bring your attention to it, you hear it fully. The music of water on wood, the ancient sound of boats on rivers, the sound that countless humans have heard throughout history as they drifted and rowed and sailed across water. The meadows give way to orchards here, rows of fruit trees in full leaf, some bearing fruit already, apples starting to swell and ripen, cherries hanging in red clusters. The trees are old and gnarled, their branches twisted into beautiful shapes by years of growth and pruning. They lean toward the water as if drinking from the river, as if grateful for its presence, as if understanding that they're connected to this flow, dependent on it, part of the same system of life and water and growth. A breeze rustles through the orchard, and you catch the scent of ripening fruit mixed with the green smell of leaves and grass. It's intoxicating, this smell, making you think of abundance, of harvest, of the earth's generosity. The breeze continues across the water to you, cooling your sun-warmed skin, perfect and refreshing, and exactly what you need in exactly the moment you need it. Your body feels completely relaxed now, completely at ease, whether you're still floating in deep rest or gently returning to fuller awareness, it doesn't matter. The peace you found here on the river isn't dependent on sleeping or waking, on night or day, on any particular state. It's a deeper peace, a fundamental peace, a peace that exists beneath all other conditions and remains available always, always, always. The boat drifts on, and you drift with it, past the orchards, past more meadows, past willows trailing their branches in the water like green waterfalls. The river is your companion now, familiar and trusted, its rhythm your rhythm, its flow your flow. You've been on this journey for so long, hours, days, a lifetime, that you can barely remember a time before the river, before the boat, before this peaceful drifting. A family of swallows swoops low over the water, their wings flashing in the sunlight, their flight impossibly graceful and swift. They're catching insects, feeding, living their swallow lives with complete commitment, complete presence. They don't worry about tomorrow or regret yesterday. They simply are, fully and completely, in this moment, in this morning, in this perfect now. The sun continues its climb, and the light continues to brighten, and the day continues to unfold with all its beauty and life and endless variation. Each moment brings something new, a new bird, a new flower, a new play of light on water, and yet each moment is also the same, the eternal now repeating itself infinitely, always the same and always different, always changing and always constant. And you, floating through all of this, are the witness, the observer, the consciousness experiencing it all. But you're also part of it, inseparable from it, as much a part of this morning as the river or the birds or the sun. You're not watching life happen. You are life happening. You are the universe experiencing itself. You are the morning becoming aware of its own beauty through your eyes, through your breath, through your peaceful, drifting presence. The boat rocks gently, always gently, and you rock with it, and the rocking is like a heartbeat, like breathing, like the fundamental rhythm of existence itself. You're safe here. You're home here. You're exactly where you belong, doing exactly what you should be doing, which is simply this: floating, breathing, being, witnessing, existing in perfect peace on this river with no destination, on this journey with no end, in this moment with no before or after, just now, just this, just the eternal present. The sun has climbed higher still, approaching its mid-morning position in the clear blue sky. The light has changed again, becoming brighter, more direct, though still gentle, still welcoming. Shadows are shorter now, the world more evenly illuminated, every detail visible and clear. The heat is building, but slowly, gradually, never uncomfortable, just a steady increase in warmth that feels natural and right, like the day unfolding exactly as days should unfold. Your boat drifts into a section where the river widens considerably, becoming almost lake-like again, a broad expanse of blue-green water stretching out in all directions. The current is barely perceptible here, just the faintest suggestion of movement, and your boat seems to float in place, suspended on the water's mirror surface, going nowhere and everywhere at once. Time has that same quality, both moving forward and standing still, both progressing and eternal. The banks are further away now, giving you a sense of space, of openness, of sky and water and endless horizon. You can see for miles across the landscape, rolling hills covered in green, forests dark in the distance, the silver ribbon of the river winding away both ahead and behind. The world is vast and beautiful, and you're a small boat on a small section of river, and somehow that feels perfect, feels right, feels like exactly the right size to be. Water lilies float on the surface here in abundance, their white and pink blooms open to the morning sun, their lily pads creating islands of green on the blue water. Frogs sit on some of the pads, basking in the warmth, their throats pulsing gently with their breathing. One frog plops into the water as you drift near, and the sound echoes across the still surface, followed by spreading ripples that catch the light in concentric circles. The air is filled with the hum of insects now, bees visiting flowers on the banks, dragonflies patrolling their territories, cicadas beginning their rhythmic song in the trees. The sound is constant but not overwhelming, a background buzz that speaks of life, of activity, of the natural world going about its business. It's soothing in its way, this evidence of thriving life all around you, this reminder that you're not alone but part of a vast web of existence. Your breathing continues its steady, peaceful rhythm, deep and slow and full. Each breath brings in warm air scented with water and plants and sun-heated earth. Each breath out releases completely, emptying your lungs, creating space for the next breath, for the next moment, for whatever comes. There's no holding on, no clinging, just this continuous cycle of receiving and releasing, taking in and letting go. A great blue heron takes flight from the shallows near the bank, its enormous wings beating slowly, powerfully, lifting its large body into the air with surprising grace. It flies low over the water, its reflection keeping pace below, bird and shadow moving as one. The heron's flight is unhurried, confident, as if it has all the time in the world, as if it knows that rushing serves no purpose, that everything happens in its own time, at its own pace. The sun glints off the water in 1,000 dancing points of light, creating a dazzling display that's almost hypnotic to watch. The light seems to have substance here, seems to be something you could reach out and touch, something solid and present and real. You're floating through liquid light, through shimmering brilliance, through beauty so intense it's almost overwhelming, yet somehow also perfectly peaceful, perfectly calm. Your boat turns slowly in the wide water, rotating gently, showing you first one view, then another. The distant hills, the nearer banks with their flowers and trees, the sky above with its few white clouds, the river stretching out ahead. Each view is equally beautiful, equally worthy of attention, equally part of this perfect moment. There's no need to choose, no need to prefer one over another, just this gentle turning that allows you to see it all, to take it all in, to appreciate the fullness of the world. A turtle swims past, its head just above the water, its legs paddling steadily beneath the surface. It seems unbothered by your presence, simply continues on its way, heading toward whatever destination turtles have, or perhaps heading nowhere at all, just swimming because swimming is what turtles do. There's wisdom in that simplicity, in that pure being, in that complete acceptance of what is. The warmth of the sun is soaking into you now, deep into your muscles, into your bones, releasing any last traces of tension, any lingering tightness, any held stress. Your body is becoming liquid, becoming water, becoming one with the river that holds you. The boundaries between you and the world continue to blur, continue to dissolve, until you're not sure where you end and everything else begins, and the not knowing is comfortable, welcome, right? The sound of the river in this wide, still section is minimal, just the gentlest lap of water against your boat, the occasional splash of a jumping fish, the soft rustle of reeds in the breeze. The quietness is profound, a silence that's not empty but full, pregnant with presence, alive with peace. In this quietness you can hear your own heartbeat, slow and steady and strong, the rhythm of life itself pulsing through you. White clouds drift across the blue sky, their shapes constantly changing, transforming from one thing to another in that slow, dreamlike way that clouds have. You watch one that looks like a dragon become a swan, become a mountain, become nothing but wisps of white against infinite blue. Everything changes. Everything flows. Everything transforms. The only constant is change itself, and somehow that's comforting rather than unsettling, a truth that brings peace rather than anxiety. The water is so clear here that you can see fish swimming far below, their movements graceful and purposeful. Schools of small silver fish move as one, turning and wheeling in perfect synchronization, a single organism made of many bodies. Larger fish swim alone, unhurried, confident in their solitary way. Each follows its nature, each does what it's meant to do, and together they create the ecosystem of the river, the balance of life that allows everything to thrive. A butterfly lands on your hand, its wings opening and closing slowly as it rests. You can see every detail, the intricate patterns on its wings, the delicate antennae, the tiny legs. It stays for a long moment, sharing this space with you, and then lifts off again, floating away on the breeze, going wherever butterflies go, following whatever instinct guides them. The brief connection feels like a gift, a small blessing, a reminder that you're not separate from nature but part of it, woven into its fabric, included in its beauty. Your eyes might be closed now, or open, or somewhere in between, that soft, half-seeing state where the world is present but dreamlike, clear but filtered through peace. It doesn't matter which. The river continues to hold you either way. The sun continues to warm you either way. The morning continues to unfold around you either way. Your state of consciousness is irrelevant to the river's flow, to the day's progression, to the fundamental okayness of everything. The boat drifts on across the wide water, and you drift with it, and the drifting is everything. There's nowhere to get to, nothing to achieve, no goal to reach. The journey is the destination. The floating is the arrival. This moment, right now, is the place you've been traveling toward all along, and you've been here the whole time, and you'll always be here, because here is the only place that exists, now is the only time that's real. And in this wide water, under this bright sun, in this perfect mid-morning, you rest in the deepest way possible, not the rest of sleep necessarily, but the rest of complete acceptance, complete surrender, complete trust in the river, in the day, in life itself. The peace you feel is beyond words, beyond thought, beyond anything that can be named or described. It simply is, and you are, and the river is, and the sun is, and everything is exactly, perfectly, beautifully as it should be. Time has lost all meaning now, if it ever had any. The sun continues its arc across the sky, but whether minutes or hours have passed, you couldn't say and don't need to know. The river flows on as it always has, as it always will, and you flow with it, timeless as water, eternal as the current, infinite as the sky reflected on the surface below you. Your boat has become an extension of yourself, or perhaps you've become an extension of the boat, or perhaps there's no longer any distinction worth making. You and the boat and the river and the day have merged into one continuous experience of being, one seamless flow of existence. The boundaries that seemed so clear when you first stepped into the boat have completely dissolved, leaving only this pure, undifferentiated presence. The river narrows again now, drawing you back into a more intimate relationship with the banks. Trees lean in close, their branches creating dappled patterns of light and shadow on the water. The current is slightly stronger here, though still gentle, still peaceful, carrying you forward with renewed purpose, though purpose without destination, movement without goal, flow without ending. Wildflowers line the banks in such profusion that it's almost overwhelming, a riot of color and scent and life. Red and yellow and purple and white and pink and orange, every hue imaginable, every shade and tone, all blooming together in glorious chaos, in perfect disorder, in the kind of beauty that only nature can create because nature doesn't try, doesn't plan, simply grows and blooms and is. The scent of these flowers reaches you on the warm breeze, sweet and complex and intoxicating. You breathe it in deeply, this perfume of summer, this essence of growth and bloom and life. The scent seems to enter not just your nose but your entire being, filling you with a kind of joy that's quiet but profound, subtle but all-encompassing, like happiness that doesn't need to shout, doesn't need to announce itself, simply exists as the background note of your experience. A deer comes to the river's edge to drink, its graceful neck bent, its tongue lapping the cool water. It lifts its head and looks directly at you, water dripping from its muzzle, and there's something in its gaze that's both wild and calm, both present and eternal. For a moment you're locked in this mutual seeing, this acknowledgement between species, between consciousnesses, between two beings sharing this river, this moment, this world. Then the deer turns and bounds away, white tail flashing, disappearing into the forest as silently as it came. Your breathing is so natural now, so effortless that you barely notice it. The breath breathes itself. The body knows what to do without instruction or attention. In and out, rise and fall, the tide of air moving through your lungs with the same inevitability as the tide in the ocean, as the flow in the river, as the spin of the earth itself. You're breathing with the universe, in perfect sync with everything. The sun is high now, nearly overhead, and the quality of light is different again, clearer, more direct, illuminating everything with perfect evenness. There are fewer shadows, less contrast, just this bright, clear light that reveals everything exactly as it is, without drama, without mystery, just pure presence made visible. The world in full daylight is honest, open, holding nothing back. A family of ducks swims alongside your boat for a while, the ducklings following their mother in a perfect line, their small bodies creating tiny wakes in the water. The mother occasionally quacks softly, teaching sounds, guiding sounds, and the ducklings peep in response. The sounds are musical, part of the river's symphony, part of the day's unfolding score. After a while they veer off toward the bank, toward whatever ducks need to do, and you continue your drift, your separate but connected journey. The river bends and curves, leading you through a landscape that's both constantly changing and always the same. Each bend reveals a new view, now a meadow, now a forest, now a rocky outcrop, now a sandy beach, but they're all variations on the same theme, all expressions of the same beauty, all parts of the same world. The variety is beautiful, but so is the underlying sameness, the essential riverness that remains constant through all the changes. You pass under a wooden bridge, old and weathered, its planks grey with age and exposure. For a moment you're in shadow, in the brief coolness under the bridge, and then you emerge back into sunlight on the other side. The bridge is a reminder that humans live along this river too, cross it, use it, are part of its story. But the bridge doesn't disturb the peace, doesn't break the spell. It's just another part of the landscape, another element in the river's long, long history. The sound of the river has become like white noise now, a constant presence that you don't consciously hear but would notice if it stopped. It's the background to everything, the foundation on which all other sounds are built. Bird songs and insect hums and rustling leaves all layer on top of this fundamental river sound, this ancient music of water flowing over earth. Your body is so relaxed now that it's as if you have no bones, no muscles, no solid form at all. You're liquid, you're air, you're light. You're nothing but awareness floating on water. The deep relaxation you found in the night has persisted through the dawn and into the day, has become not a state but your natural way of being. This is who you are now, this peaceful, floating, present consciousness. The sky above is a perfect blue, the blue of contentment, the blue of peace, the blue of infinite possibility and infinite acceptance existing together in perfect balance. A bird soars high above, circling on thermals, rising without effort, held aloft by invisible currents of warm air. It doesn't flap its wings, doesn't struggle, simply trusts the air to hold it, trusts the warmth to lift it, trusts the world to support it. And the world does. The river is teaching you something without words, something you already knew but had forgotten, something about flow and trust and surrender. The river never tries to go uphill, never fights against gravity, never resists its own nature. It simply flows, always flows, finding the path of least resistance, the easiest way, the natural way. And in flowing, in surrendering to what is, it's infinitely powerful, capable of carving canyons, moving mountains, shaping the very earth itself. You are learning to be like the river, or perhaps you've always been like the river and are only now remembering it. You're learning that the way forward is not through struggle but through release, not through effort but through allowing, not through force but through acceptance. The river has been teaching you this all along, through every gentle turn, through every peaceful stretch of water, through every moment of floating without destination. The journey continues, will always continue, because the river flows on forever, because time moves forward even when it seems to stand still, because life itself is a journey without end, an eternal becoming, an infinite unfolding. And you're part of that journey, inseparable from it, essential to it, as much a part of the river's story as the water or the stones or the banks or the sky. And so you drift on through the timeless flow, through the eternal now, through this moment that has lasted forever and will never end. The boat carries you faithfully, the river holds you gently, the sun warms you constantly, and you exist in perfect peace, perfect presence, perfect surrender to what is, what has always been, what will always be. This flowing, this drifting, this beautiful, endless journey down a river with no destination. The river flows on, as it always has, as it always will. You've been drifting for what feels like forever, and in a sense you have been. Forever exists in every moment, eternity lives in the now, and you've been present for all of it, witnessing it, being it, flowing with it. The journey has no end because the river has no end, because flow itself is endless, because the present moment never stops arriving. Your boat glides through water that sparkles with light, each ripple catching the sun and throwing it back, creating a constantly shifting display of brilliance and shadow, light and reflection, reality and mirror image. You've learned that they're the same thing, that there's no difference between what is and what reflects what is, that everything is both solid and illusion, both real and dream, both here and everywhere. The banks slide past, or perhaps you slide past them, or perhaps neither moves and movement itself is the illusion, just another story we tell about the unchanging now. Trees and flowers and grass and sky, all of it present, all of it perfect, all of it exactly as it needs to be. You've stopped judging, stopped preferring, stopped wanting anything to be different than it is. This acceptance isn't resignation. It's freedom, it's peace, it's the deepest love possible, the love that embraces everything exactly as it is. The sun continues its journey across the sky, and you continue yours across the water, both moving and both still, both going somewhere and both already there. The paradox no longer confuses you. You've learned to hold opposites together, to let contradictions exist side by side, to understand that truth is bigger than logic, wider than reason, deeper than thought can reach. Your breathing continues its gentle rhythm, has been continuing all along, will continue forever, because breath is life, and life is breath, and both are manifestations of the same infinite energy that flows through everything. You breathe, and the river flows, and the wind blows, and the earth spins, and stars shine, and galaxies wheel through space. All of it one movement, one breath, one eternal now expressing itself in infinite forms. A sense of gratitude fills you, though fills isn't quite right, because you are the gratitude. You're made of it, you're its expression. Gratitude for the river that held you through the night, through the dawn, through the day. Gratitude for the boat that carried you faithfully without asking anything in return. Gratitude for the sun that warmed you, the stars that watched over you, the moon that illuminated your path. Gratitude for everything, for existence itself, for the privilege of being here, now, alive, aware, present. The river widens one more time, opening into a vast expanse of water that stretches toward the horizon. The far shore is barely visible, a hazy line where water meets sky, where earth meets heaven, where the known meets the unknown. Your boat drifts toward this horizon, not hurrying, never hurrying, just continuing its eternal drift toward something that might be the sea, might be infinity, might be just more river forever and ever. And here's the truth you've discovered on this journey. It doesn't matter. The destination doesn't matter because there is no destination, or because every moment is the destination, or because the journey and the destination are the same thing. You've arrived at every moment, are arriving now, will always be arriving. There's nowhere else to be, nothing else to do, no other moment more important or more real than this one. The water beneath you is deep here, deeper than you can see, holding mysteries you'll never know and don't need to know. The depth doesn't frighten you. You trust the water to hold you up, trust the boat to float, trust the river to carry you wherever you need to go, which is exactly where you already are. Trust has become your natural state, as natural as breathing, as natural as floating, as natural as being. Birds wheel in the sky above, their cries faint and distant, like voices from another world calling across the boundary between earth and air. You're aware of them, but not separate from them, part of their flight even while floating on water, part of their sky even while held by the river. Everything is connected, everything interpenetrates, everything is everything else in different form. The sun is lowering now toward afternoon, toward evening, toward sunset that will come in its own time. The light is starting to take on that golden quality again, that warmth and richness that speaks of completion, of cycles ending and beginning, of the wheel always turning. You've come full circle, or perhaps you've been moving in circles all along, or perhaps circles and straight lines are the same thing when you see them from the right perspective. Your body is completely at peace, completely relaxed, more rested than it's ever been, even though you've been awake, even though you've been sleeping, even though you've been both and neither in this floating dream that is your life, that is all life, that is life itself. The peace you feel isn't dependent on circumstances, isn't conditional on anything being different, isn't something you found, but something you remembered, something you always were. The boat continues to drift, will always continue to drift, because that's what boats do on rivers, because that's what consciousness does in existence, because that's what life does in time. It flows, it moves, it continues. And you continue with it, inseparable from it, made of the same substance, animated by the same force, expressing the same infinite mystery. And in this endless drifting, in this eternal flow, in this moment that contains all moments, you rest, deeply, completely, absolutely. Not the rest of sleep, though that's part of it, and not the rest of stillness, though that's part of it too, but the rest of complete and total surrender to what is, to what has always been, to what will always be. This flowing, this being, this consciousness experiencing itself through countless forms, through water and boat and sun and sky, through you. The river holds you now as it has always held you, as it will always hold you. The journey continues, endless and perfect, without beginning or end, without start or finish. Just this eternal now, this infinite present, this perfect moment stretching out in all directions, containing everything, being everything, meaning everything and nothing at once. And you drift on, peacefully, endlessly, perfectly, down this river with no destination, in this boat with no course, in this moment with no time, in this life with no separation between living and being lived, in this consciousness that is both yours and everything's, both personal and universal, both limited and infinite. The river flows on. The boat drifts on. You flow on. Forever. Now. Always. Here. Peace.